Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Friday, the 13th of April. Tom Leach and Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development. Big day, Makers 46 mile, a grade 1 on the turf at a 1 mile, and then we'll take a look at that and the late pick 4. So, Jim, got a great looking field here in the Makers 46. Heart to Heart back for another try. Who do you like?
Yeah, this always gets a great field. It's one of the most fun days of the spring meet. It's the Friday after opening weekend, so everybody takes a breath. We had 18,000 on opening Friday. I think we'll beat that this Friday with 75-degree temperatures. So I think it's going to be a big day at the track. I do like Heart to Heart. I mean, it seems like I bet this horse every time, and he always tries. He's really only thrown in one bad race, and that was in Breeders' Cup Mile last year at Del Mar. I don't think he cared for the track, and he gave it up so easily. He only got beat 3 lengths, though. World approval. Of course, 9 horses passed him, but he had the lead. I think he's going to get the lead here, and I think he's very tough. He loves Keeneland. He's only won once here, but he's had 3 really good second places, including a Shadwell Turf last year and second in this race last year to American Patriot. I thought he had his grade 1. He finally got his grade 1 in the Gulfstream Park Turf on February 10th in a gutsy race. He just runs his heart out, and he's very well named, and I just really like this horse. And Julian rides, and as we're taping this, he got off Schneid today with a 39-1 shot on Wednesday's racing. Kind of a good way to win. And he loves this horse, and he's done well on him. I like Heart to Heart in the Makers. Forge, the 3-horse, ran right behind him last year at Saratoga, and he also ran right behind World Approval. And he's got a pattern of good race, bad race, and he's due for a good one. He didn't run much at Fairgrounds in the Muniz, where Synchrony won that race on the inside. And the outside wasn't his place to be. He was hung out in the 9-hole there, so I think he tossed that. Going back to the Tampa race, he's a half a length behind World Approval, who would be the favorite in here if he was running. So I think Forge has got a big shot. I think Ballo Rocks, the 2-horse, seems like this horse is always around the money. Just barely gets beat. He's only won 5 lifetime races, but he's gotten beaten by World Approval a couple times. The Visadero had a 3-race win streak back at Gulfstream back in January of 17. If he gets back to that level, he's got a shot in here as well. And Hokie, the 10, I got to throw him in there. The 9-year-old gelding making his 51st lifetime start. Won the Canadian Turf at Gulfstream last out at a mile. That was the first time at distance he's 1 for 1. You got to love a horse like this that just hangs around, and Ortiz takes the ride back, and I think he's got a shot as well. But Heart to Heart's my pick here. I would use the 2-3-10 behind him and hopefully get a bomb in the 3rd spot for the trifecta.
I am taking one you didn't mention. That tells you what this field's like. Frostmorn, the 5 at 10-1. This horse kept company with the best 3-year-old milers last year, and I don't know that there are few, if any, grade 1 opportunities for 3-year-olds at a mile on the turf, exclusively for 3-year-olds. So I think this is a horse that is going to be a grade 1 caliber horse and just hasn't had the chance to compete at that level yet. And so now, with a little extra year of maturity, they're putting him in this spot to give him a test for class, and I think he is going to stack up well. Went back and watched his 4-year-old debut, and he won just as easy as you could imagine. And I think that was just a perfect setup for this race. I'm guessing that Christophe Clement had this one picked out since last fall, maybe, for this horse. And so I think this is Frostmorn's breakthrough opportunity here, and I'm going to go with him at 10-1. Got to use Heart to Heart. I'm like you. I like Forge a lot in here, too. I think he's very dangerous. Ballo Rocks. Next shares coming in from California. We talked to Corey Nakatani last weekend when he was here, and he said he thought the East Coast turf courses would suit this horse better than the harder ones out in California. And then Hoagie, I would throw in if depending on how deep you want to go, but kind of in that order for me, starting with Heart to Heart as the others. But I'm going to make Frostmorn my key horse. So let's go back to the 7th race, maidens at 7 furlongs, and take us through your pick 4 ticket, Jim.
Okay, I used 3 horses here in this one. I used Leinster for Dwayne Lucas on the inside, coming off a nice run at Oaklawn. Got back to where he was in his debut, 68 buyer, and stacks up well against this bunch that some of them haven't run yet. I'm going to use him. I'm going to use the 6-horse Own Agenda for Bill Mott, who ran decent first time out at Churchill last September, and been training well down in Florida. And then the 7-horse Rugby Man, first time starter for Graham Motion. This race is tough, a tough way to start the pick 4. I think Marmello ran in the Louisiana Derby last time out and just was overclassed. And if you go back to his first couple of races, he ran well, but obviously he's still a maiden. And then Hey Prez on the outside for Alvarado ran okay at the first out at Oakland. But I'm gonna take a shaky start here and use 1-6-7. Second race, I'm going to use Geo Game the 3, Miss Mimosa built for Bill Mott the 5, and the 9. Go Google Yourself. Gotta love that name. That would be my top pick. I almost won at Fairgrounds last out, an optional claimer. Got beat by Chocolate Martini, who came back and won. So this horse has got a big shot here. So 1-6-7 with 3-5-9. I'm going to use the 2 horses that I talked about the most in the makers, and that's Forge the 3 and Heart to Heart the 6. Going to stand with 2 horses there. And then the last leg is kind of wide open, and to keep the ticket fairly manageable, I use 1-3-6-9 with Majestic Bold, Honor with Pride, who would be my top pick for Kenny McPeak, the 6-horse Moment of Triumph for Wayne Minnock and Corey Lannery, and the 9-horse Push Come to Shove for Pat Huffman. And 1-3-6-9 in, so I've got 3x3 x 2x4, 1-6-7 with 3-5-9 with 3-6 with 1-3-6-9, an inexpensive ticket of $36.
This is going to be one of those days when we're kind of opposite, and my ticket's kind of structured 180 degrees different. I'm going light at the end of the ticket. I'm going to start with 3, and I would like to go deeper. In these first 2 legs, I will say I would like to go deeper than I'm going, just to keep the ticket manageable. I'm going to use 3 horses. My win pick is a swing for the fences, Home Base the 5. 2 races back on the 19th of January, this horse ran a 76 buyer for Mike Tomlinson. Came back with an awful performance, but if you just forgive that race, a week ago, this horse had a really sharp work, 47 and change over at Churchill. So if you draw a line through that last race and look at the previous one, the race stacks up really well for a horse that's 12-1 on the morning line. I like Own Agenda. I thought that was a really tough field that he caught last year down at Churchill, so I think he could run big. And then the other one I'm going to use is First Commander for Kira McLaughlin. I scratched out Rugby Man just to make the ticket more affordable, so he would have been my next choice, and could have gone probably even deeper. The 8th race, I like Geo Game. I like second off the layoff, and the turf to dirt angle is a good one for Cassie. Princess Warrior, I like. Ladies Night. Gail Cox, I've seen her come here and do well with limited starters at Keeneland. She gets Jose Ortiz to ride, and this horse caught some good fields up in Canada, 15-1 on the morning line. So I like that one at a price, and Miss Mimosa. And there are others. The one you mentioned would be probably at the top of the list of the others for me, but I'm going to stick with the 3, 2, 4, 5. In the makers, I'm going 5 deep. Frostmorn, Heart to Heart, Forge, Ballarocks, and Next Shares I'm going to throw in. And then in the last leg, I like Honor. I initially liked Honor with Pride a lot, but coming from well off of it, I decided to go for a speed horse, 2, Bella Moon, the 7. So 3 and 7 in the last leg. So for me, it's 3, 5, 6 with 2, 3, 4, 5 with 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 with 3, 7. So it's a little more expensive ticket, and I just had trouble paring these fields down. It was a tough one, tough call for me. Best of luck on your wagers on Maker's 46-mile day at Keeneland. We'll be back to look at the great Saturday card in our next edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.